Hey everyone, welcome to the Final Fantasy XIV crafting guide. This crafting guide will cover all aspects of crafting, from beginning all the way to endgame. So let's get started here. Chapter 1 is going to cover the basics, and when I say basics, I mean real basic. Becoming a crafter, finding where all the guilds are so that you can get signed up. I'm also going to go over basic crafting mechanics in the game and the abilities, what they actually do. Then finally we're going to close out Chapter 1 with setting up a home base, what that really means, why it's important, and what the ideal home base will look like. So here we go. Now if you're still watching this video, you are absolutely just getting started. And when I say just getting started, I mean you really haven't done anything in crafting at all. The prerequisite for crafting is just like starting anything else in this game. You have to be level 10 in something. So once you've gotten to level 10, you're pretty good to go. You have to go to each one of the guilds and sign up. They don't require anything special, just say yes. So the guilds are divided into the three main cities. You'll find the Leatherworking Guild and the Carpenter Guild in Gridania. The Carpenter Guild is right next to the main Aetheryte. The Leatherworking Guild, you can take the Aetheryte and it'll take you right there, as you can see here in the screenshot. Our next stop is Limsa Lominsa, where you'll find three more crafting guilds to sign up to. All three are on the upper decks. The Culinarian Guild you can reach using the Aetheryte, and then from there hightail it over to the Blacksmith and Armorers Guild, which are conveniently right next to each other. And finally in Ul'dah, you'll find the last of the crafting guilds. The Weavers Guild, the Goldsmith Guild, and the Alchemist Guild are all reachable through the Aetheryte, as you can see here, so just bounce from one to the other and sign up. So congratulations, you are now a full-fledged crafter. We're going to dive now into the crafting stats. These two stats drive everything in crafting. The in-game help text doesn't really shed a lot of light on what these two do when it comes to crafting, especially for a new crafter. So I'm going to break it down for you pretty simply. The craftsmanship rating is your ability to make an item. And so the higher that number is, the more that making an item abilities are affected. So things that cause the item to be finished. The control rating is your HQ number. And so the higher that number is, the more effective your abilities that increase the quality and thus try to get to an HQ outcome are affected. Later on in the tutorial series, we're going to go more in depth on how these two really affect your crafting, but for right now you just know that they exist. Now the biggest thing about getting started in crafting is setting up a home base, and home base is important because it gets you into a rhythm, and when it comes to speed crafting and power EXPing through crafting, not having to think about things really helps a lot. One of the best things you can do is join a free company if you aren't already part of one. The free company is going to be able to give you special buffs that will increase how much experience points you get when you make an item. They also usually have some sort of a house that has the special furniture that will help out by giving you a buff of extra CP, which we'll talk about here in a second. So having that home base set up is really important. Finally, being a member of a free company, you'll usually have access to special NPC vendors inside of the same house where those special furnitures are. The NPC vendor is going to have the materials that you need right in one place to be able to get all of your crafting jobs to level 15 pretty quickly and unlock the first set of cross-class crafting abilities that then you can use to build combos and level further from 15. Now, if you're looking at this video going, but Soric, I don't want to join a free company, that's fine too. Each one of the main cities has a materials vendor. The materials vendor has usually most of what you need. The guilds vendors inside of each one of the guilds make up the difference. But be warned, you're going to be doing a lot of traveling instead of crafting, and you don't gain EXP from that. So now let's get to the actual EXPing part. When you sit down to craft, you're going to want to look at your crafting guide. Each one of the items in your guide will get a check mark next to it when you make it for the first time. By doing that, you get an experience points bonus, and you'll get a flashed message on your screen that proof of completion has been done. So what you want to do is you want to sit down at that vendor, or if you don't want to join a free company, then gather all the materials that you're going to need to make all these items for the first time, and sit down and make them. Now, I'm sure you noticed as you were signing up for all of the guilds to unlock all your crafting jobs that the guild masters were nice enough to provide you with a couple of crystal shards. These are available for viewing in your inventory on the second page, or the last page if you're on the PlayStation 3. The crystals are your tokens. They're like your currency to craft. Every recipe has a price, and your crafting guide will tell you how many crystal shards that you're going to use to make an item. So keep in mind that crystals are really what you're going to be spending the most of when it comes to leveling your crafting jobs. Now, starting off fresh at level 1, the only ability you're going to have is basic synthesis, and anything that's got a synthesis in it is controlled by that craftsmanship rating. That's to create an item, and since you don't really have any other options, you just want to go through and just power through the check marks for each one of the jobs. You'll see yourself gaining EXP and levels very quickly. Eventually, you'll reach level 5. All of your crafting jobs will get basic touch at level 5. Basic touch is the ability that will increase the high quality. Now, this is really important. You don't have to HQ an item to gain more EXP for making it. Just by attempting it, just by increasing that quality bar, you will gain more EXP than if you just basic synth. And it is important that you try to use basic touch to increase the high quality bar as much as you can in each synth when you're doing your check marks after you reach level 5, or the check marks won't be enough by themselves to get you to level 15. Once you get to level 5 and beyond, you'll see more and more crafting books or pages opening up for each one of your jobs with new recipes on them that you can then checkmark using basic touch to increase the quality and get more EXP per craft. Once you get all the way to level 15 on all the jobs, you will learn a plethora of new abilities that you can then cross-class and start making combos that we'll show you here. The last basic mechanic that we're going to learn here is durability. The durability rating goes down by 10 points without a special buff for every move that you do to either quality or progress. Now, keep in mind that you have to kind of know how many basic syntheses you need to do in order to create an item. That way, you save enough durability at the end of the craft to actually make it, because you gain no EXP for failing. And the last thing I want to talk about here in Chapter 1 is food. Any food that you eat in this game, whether it's a raw orange or a bottle of mineral water, will give you an EXP boost for everything that you do, including crafting. That boost is 3%. It doesn't sound like a lot on the surface, but in the millions of experience points that you end up dumping into all the different crafting jobs, it really adds up quick. So the best trick, if you don't want to deal with kind of advanced crafting food and stuff like that, which you really don't need to at this point, is just to drink the mineral water that same NPC in the Free Company sells. All of the crafting material NPCs in the 3 major cities has it too, and it's pretty cheap. So keep popping those mineral waters, keep hydrated. And that'll do it for Chapter 1. You've got everything you need to know to get all your crafting jobs to level 15. It is important to level them together so that you get all those cross-class abilities at level 15. In Chapter 2, once you get to level 15, we're going to talk about the mechanics of crafting using those new abilities, the rhythm of leveling after 15, because those check marks aren't going to cut it for you by themselves, and EXPing with speed through level 20 and beyond. So you can click on the next video here on the channel. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.